After working with older adults for more than 3 decades, I've learned something almost no one talks about. Most seniors believe the answer to strength, energy, and healthy aging is found in complicated diets, expensive supplements, or powders that promise miracles. But the truth is far simpler and far cheaper. Hidden in the average American kitchen cabinet or grocery aisle are 5 ordinary beverages, each costing less than $2, that can quietly support muscle strength, daily energy, joint comfort, hydration, and overall vitality for people over 60. I've had patient after patient walk into my office worried about weakness, shrinking legs, difficulty climbing stairs, and that frightening moment when you suddenly realize getting off the couch is harder than it used to be. They think the solution has to be something extreme. But the answer is often already in their homes, sitting behind the orange juice or tucked next to the coffee maker. Today, I'm counting down the 5 drinks that research shows can genuinely help aging adults maintain strength and recover from the muscle loss that naturally begins around 60. And when we reach number 1, you're going to be surprised. It's a drink most Americans ignore, yet it helps your body absorb protein more efficiently, especially as you get older. Before we jump in, I want to ask you something. Tell me your age in the comments and tell me which drink you have every single day. Our channel is brand new, and your comments help us reach more seniors who need this information. Make sure you subscribe and share this video with someone in your life who wants to stay strong and active after 60. Every new subscriber helps us grow and continue making videos like this. Let's start the countdown. Drink number 5 is tart cherry juice, an underrated recovery drink that has been studied for years but rarely talked about in senior communities. A 2019 study in the Journal of Functional Foods found that tart cherry juice helped older adults experience less muscle soreness, better sleep, and stronger morning energy. That matters because one of the biggest hidden causes of fatigue as we age is inflammation. Not the kind you feel directly, but the kind that silently slows down recovery, stiffens joints, and makes your legs feel heavy. Tart cherry juice is packed with natural compounds called anthocyanins that help calm this inflammation. I once had a patient named George, 71 years old, from Minnesota. Every morning he told me he woke up feeling like he was made of wood. His hips were tight, his knees felt swollen, and his lower back made those first 5 steps nearly impossible. I suggested he try a small glass of tart cherry juice before bed. 2 weeks later, he told me the stiffness didn't disappear, but it loosened. He woke up lighter, more flexible, and ready to move. It's simple, inexpensive, and works quietly while you sleep. And as helpful as this drink is, number 4 is even more powerful for supporting muscle rebuilding, especially if you're over 65. Drink number 4 on this list is a classic American staple that most people overlook because it seems too ordinary: low-fat milk. For decades, seniors have been told to avoid dairy, to fear fat, or to switch to plant alternatives that taste fine but do almost nothing for aging muscles. But study after study has shown that simple low-fat milk remains one of the most effective muscle-supporting beverages for adults over 60, especially when muscle loss is already beginning. Here's why. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein. Younger adults can eat a chicken breast or a bowl of yogurt, and their muscles immediately jump into repair mode. But after 60, the body needs more of a specific amino acid, leucine, to trigger that same process. Milk naturally contains a strong blend of leucine and complete protein, more balanced than many of the popular alternatives. And unlike powders or supplements, milk provides minerals like calcium, potassium, and magnesium that older bodies rely on to maintain bone strength and prevent nighttime cramps. I had a patient named Carolyn, 68 years old, from Ohio. She was widowed, lived alone, and had a habit of skipping meals, especially breakfast. She complained about feeling weak by mid-afternoon and said her legs felt unreliable when she walked across parking lots. Instead of prescribing a supplement, I told her to add one simple glass of low-fat milk in the morning. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. 2 months later, she said the difference was noticeable. She wasn't suddenly an athlete, but she wasn't exhausted by lunchtime anymore. Her legs didn't tremble as easily when she stood from the couch. And her doctor noted slight improvements in her bone density. That is the kind of small, steady improvement most seniors never hear about. Milk isn't glamorous, but it works. Before we move on, I want to pause here for a moment. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. We're a brand new channel trying to reach older Americans who have been left behind by the fitness industry. The more you like, comment, and share these videos, the more people over 60 will get the information they deserve. Tell me in the comments whether you still drink milk regularly or if you stopped and why. I read every single comment personally. Now, the next drink on this list, drink number 3, is something thousands of older adults drink every morning without realizing it can either help them or hurt them depending on how it's prepared. Most seniors use it the wrong way and end up with more fatigue instead of more energy. But when used correctly, it becomes one of the most reliable, natural stimulants for brain clarity, physical strength, and daily motivation. We're talking about coffee. But not the kind loaded with sugar, creamers, flavored syrups, and artificial additives. I mean real, plain, American coffee. The kind our grandparents brewed in metal percolators and drank before a day of hard work. Coffee, when used correctly, is one of the most powerful tools an older adult can use to stay alert, active, and physically capable throughout the day. The problem isn't coffee itself. The problem is what modern Americans have turned it into. Most people drink beverages that are closer to milkshakes than coffee. Flavored creamers, heavy syrups, whipped toppings, and sugar packed so tightly into the cup that the caffeine barely matters. That kind of coffee creates energy crashes, inflammation, and blood sugar swings that make seniors feel worse. But plain black coffee, or coffee with just a small amount of milk, has strong evidence behind it. Studies from American universities have shown that adults over 60 who drink moderate amounts of real coffee often maintain sharper mental function, more consistent morning energy, and better metabolic health. Caffeine is a natural stimulant, but it's not just about alertness. It also helps improve circulation, making it easier for your muscles to receive oxygen and nutrients, especially during simple, daily activities like walking, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries. One of my former patients, Henry, 74 from Indiana, used to rely on sugary flavored lattes from popular coffee chains. He drank 2 or 3 a day and wondered why he always felt drained by late afternoon. When I explained what those drinks were doing to his blood sugar, he switched to 1 cup of strong black coffee in the morning and a second small cup around lunchtime. Within 2 weeks, he told me he felt more stable. His energy no longer spiked and crashed. He said his legs felt more reliable when he stepped out of his truck. And his wife joked that he became 20% less grumpy, which for him was a miracle. Coffee is not a cure-all, but when used properly, it becomes a simple, inexpensive tool that helps older adults stay mentally sharp and physically capable. The key is consistency and keeping it clean. No syrups, no artificial sweeteners, no dessert-like additions that disguise the coffee flavor and sabotage the benefits. If you're watching right now and you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It truly helps us grow. Our channel is small, and we need your support to reach more Americans over 60 who are trying to stay independent, strong, and confident in their bodies. Leave a comment and tell me how you prefer your coffee. Black? With cream? Or do you skip coffee entirely? Your answers help us build content that actually serves you. Now, drink number 2 on this list is something every American has seen, but almost nobody over 60 uses correctly. This drink has been studied for its ability to support immunity, hydration, muscle recovery, and digestive function. And the surprising part is that it's been around for centuries. It is simple, inexpensive, and easy to prepare, yet most older adults overlook it completely because they think it's too mild to matter. That drink is green tea. But before you assume it's just a health trend, there's something you should know. When brewed properly, green tea becomes one of the most efficient, anti-inflammatory beverages available to seniors. Green tea has been used for centuries, but only in the last 2 decades have American researchers started paying attention to what it can do for older adults. Many seniors assume green tea is too weak, too light, or too unfamiliar compared to the coffee they've had all their lives. But study after study has shown that green tea contains compounds called catechins, most famously EGCG, that help reduce inflammation, support healthy blood vessels, and assist the body in maintaining stable energy without the harsh spike and crash feeling that comes from sugary drinks. Why does this matter after 60? Because inflammation becomes one of the biggest obstacles to healthy aging. It makes the joints stiff, it slows down muscle repair, it drains energy. And worst of all, it often builds slowly. So people don't realize it's happening until they're struggling with basic tasks like getting out of a chair or walking through a grocery store without stopping. Green tea works in the background. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't hit you with a burst of energy. Instead, it provides a steady, controlled lift while calming the inflammation that sabotages strength and mobility. Many of my older patients would tell me things like, "I don't feel younger, but I feel less bogged down," after adding green tea to their routine. That's exactly what you want: small, reliable improvements that accumulate over time. Let me give you an example. I once worked with a man named Richard, 66 years old, from Arizona. He wasn't unhealthy, but he wasn't active either. His knees bothered him, he tired easily, and he complained that his brain felt foggy most afternoons. I suggested he replace his sugary iced tea with 1 large glass of green tea in the afternoon. He brewed it strong, chilled it, and drank it instead of the sweetened teas he had relied on for years. A month later, he told me the change was noticeable. He felt clearer mentally, and his afternoon slump faded. His knees still had their issues, but the overall heaviness he used to feel in his body lifted. This is what green tea does for many seniors: not miracles, but steady improvements that support the body day after day. If you're watching right now, I want to ask something important. Leave a comment telling me whether you've ever tried green tea and if you felt any difference from it. And please subscribe, because every new subscriber helps us reach more older Americans who need honest, simple information that isn't influenced by supplement companies or marketing hype. We are building a community here, and your support genuinely matters. If you find value in this content, share this video with a family member or friend who's over 60. You never know whose life it might improve. Now, we've reached drink number 1, the most important beverage for older adults in the United States. It is inexpensive, easy to find, and often ignored. But when seniors begin using it consistently, I see improvements in energy, strength, digestion, and mobility that go far beyond what most people expect. In fact, many Americans consume this drink without realizing they're preparing it in a way that cancels most of its benefits. Number 1 on our list is water. Not flavored water, not sports drinks, not vitamin-added water, just plain, clean water. It sounds almost too simple, and that's exactly why so many seniors overlook it. In the United States, dehydration is one of the most common reasons adults over 60 visit the ER. And it's not because they aren't trying to drink fluids. It's because they rely on coffee, soda, sweetened tea, or juice, believing those beverages count the same way water does. They don't. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes weaker. That means, by the time you actually feel thirsty, you're already behind. And when you're behind on hydration, muscles tighten, joints ache more, digestion slows, blood pressure becomes unstable, and energy drops sharply. Some of my patients used to mistake dehydration for aging itself. They believed the fatigue, the brain fog, the dizziness, and the weakness were just part of getting older. Then they started drinking enough water, and suddenly half of those problems improved. Let me tell you a story that still sticks with me. A woman named Susan, 72, from Ohio, came into my clinic frustrated because she felt too weak to do her morning walks. She wasn't sick, her diet was decent, but she felt drained all the time, and her legs felt heavy even after a good night's sleep. I asked her how much water she drank daily. She said, "I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning and maybe a glass of iced tea with dinner." That was it. I asked her to start drinking 3 full glasses of water before lunchtime, every single day. Nothing extreme, just 3 glasses before noon. Within 2 weeks, she came back almost angry. She said, "Why didn't anyone tell me this sooner?" Her morning fatigue vanished, her walks felt easier, and the heaviness in her legs faded. She wasn't suddenly 10 years younger, but she felt capable again. She felt like her body was responding the way it should. And it all began with water. This is why water is number 1. It isn't fancy. It isn't trendy. It doesn't need marketing. It simply works. When your cells are properly hydrated, they transport nutrients better, repair damage faster, and keep your muscles functioning smoothly. Everything in the body runs cleaner, smoother, and stronger. Before we continue, I want to invite you again to comment below. Tell us honestly, how many glasses of water do you drink on an average day? Your answer might surprise you. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe right now. We're a new channel, and every single subscriber matters. Your support helps us grow, helps us deliver more science-backed information, and helps other seniors discover tools that can genuinely improve their lives. And please share this video with someone you care about. Water is simple, but so is overlooking it, and the consequences can be enormous. Now that we've gone through all 5 drinks, I want to bring everything together because the truth is this. Most seniors in America aren't struggling because they lack willpower, discipline, or motivation. They're struggling because the health industry has buried the simplest solutions under layers of marketing, confusion, and profit-driven noise. Every year, companies roll out new drinks, powders, boosters, fortified blends, bottled wellness tonics, all claiming to fix fatigue, muscle loss, brain fog, digestive issues, and aging itself. Yet the strongest improvements I see in real seniors come from the basics. The drinks we just discussed. The inexpensive ones. The overlooked ones. The ones the industry can't make billions from. When I sit with a patient, the pattern is always the same. They're tired. They feel weaker. Their balance is worse. Their digestion is sluggish. Their mind feels slower. And before they even consider the simple things, they've already spent hundreds of dollars on supplements, juices, special teas, or powdered drinks that were never designed to fix the root of their problems. I've had patients tell me they're paying $50 or $60 a month for something they saw on TV, but they're drinking barely half the water they need each day. Or they're relying on sodas and coffees that dehydrate them. Or they're skipping the protein-rich beverages that could help their muscles recover and rebuild. If you've watched this far, I want you to pause and think. Which of these 5 drinks was missing from your routine? Which one do you think could make the biggest difference if you actually committed to it for 2 weeks? Not one day. Not one cup. A genuine 2-week commitment. Because that's how real change happens. Not through extreme diets, not through expensive supplements, but through small, consistent habits that slowly shift the body back into balance. This is why I want you to leave a comment right now. Tell me which drink you're going to start with this week. Your comment might end up motivating the next person who scrolls through this video and decides to take action. And if you're watching silently without commenting, let me encourage you to speak up. We're building a community here, a place where older Americans can actually talk about what's working for them, not what's being sold to them. Your experiences matter, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We're a new channel, and your support determines whether this information reaches 5 people or 50,000. Every subscriber helps us push back against the noise and get real, useful health guidance into the hands of the people who need it most. If this video taught you something, share it with a friend or a family member. Sometimes a simple conversation can change someone's entire life.